Gotta wonder what the hell a civilian is doing here. It's a Ranger military outpost. We're keeping an eye on the Legion at Cottonwood Cove. There's nothing going on down there at the moment. Just the usual slave trafficking. Poor bastards. Believe me, if I had things my way, we'd go right through Cottonwood Cove, kick the Legion back across the river. Brass and McCarran doesn't want us to waste resources. They consider this a minor target. We just watch. Oh, they know. Rangers are tough nuts to crack. Any force small enough to launch a surprise attack isn't going back in one piece. On the other hand, if the Legion goes for a full-scale attack, we'll see them coming, fall back, and wait for reinforcements. So we know what they'll do, and they know what we'll do. We just sit around and keep an eye on each other.
You're here for the money. I told the murders I was good for it. I just need more time. I talked to the cashiers at Gomorrah. I needed more chips. I thought I was due for a hot streak. I lost everything. I made a deal with the Omertas. The Omertas were nice and said they'd give me some time to pay them back. But they also said if they had to talk to me about my debt again, they wouldn't be nice the second time. I operate the radio and call it in if we see any great cons moving from Red Rock Canyon. I don't want to talk about it. We were on patrol near the dam when a Legion raiding party jumped us. We didn't even have time to radio it in. I was hit on the head with a machete and I was knocked out. I survived, but some days I wish I didn't. The rest of my squad was crucified, butchered, mutilated. All my friends, they all died, and I was the only one there. I never got to see what happened. The Legion. I don't know how they missed me, but I was still alive. Maybe they knew they'd broken me. Maybe. But thanks for saying it anyway.
If you're here to sell something, we don't want any. This is the frontier of NCR territory, and we are the first line of defense. You won't find much in the way of civilization east of here. South of here is Camp Guardian, but they've been having radio trouble, so they've been silent for a while now. No problem. Hey, do me a favor when you get back to Reyes and tell her that we don't need any more damn ammo. Wouldn't mind more water, though. We're not going to die of thirst anytime soon, but I'd rather have too much than not enough. You think I haven't tried? Every time I do, Camp Golf acknowledges the situation, and soon after that, more ammo. It's not my call to make. You'd have to clear it with Ranger Erickson.
Did you need something else? High casualties? We've had one broken ankle. Nobody at this post has died. Any injury, illness, or death gets radioed to Ranger HQ at Camp Golf. Chief Hanlon and his aides compile the reports and assign reinforcements as needed. and they're not needed here. There's other ranger posts around. Reyes might have mixed up the report. Do a fucking head count then. Everybody's right where they're supposed to be. Reyes got the numbers wrong. Not much.
No run-ins with the Great Khans, I hope. They've been more restless than usual. Tough, independent, and ruthless as they come. They're holed up in Red Rock Canyon, and it's this station's job to keep an eye on them. Keeping watch on the Great Khans, mostly. They usually stick around Red Rock Canyon, but at least one large group left recently. We called it in, but haven't heard anything about any Great Khan incidents. Whatever they're doing, they're keeping a low profile. Yeah, it's a damn shame. There was a lot of talk about expelling her from the Rangers, especially once the gambling and drinking started. Being posted here is her second and last chance, and so far, I'm not impressed. Link's jumpy all the time, and the others are sick of it. You must be mistaken. I haven't filed any report like that. Trained death claws? I'd have remembered something like that. If someone's saying I filed that report, that's a load of crap. I won't have my name attached to a clerical error.
What brings you to Ranger Station Bravo? We're here to make sure the Legion doesn't try to sneak around Lake Mead and try to come at us from another direction. You're not stationed here, but your rep with the NCR speaks for itself. It's mostly rifle rounds, but I'll throw in a few boxes of pistol ammo. I really shouldn't be doing this for you, but there's no way we're going to use all of this, or be able to carry it with us.
Back west, you don't see too many of these. Lakes, I mean. Natural or man-made. Any kind, really. We neglected the dams or pumped all the water out a long time ago. Owens is just a lot of mud and dust now. It's a different feeling watching the sun come up over the water. Takes me get, but if you're here long enough, it starts to seem normal. You must be the courier folks have been talking about. Word on the radio is that someone wronged you back in Goodsprings. The Mojave has a way of burning decent people up, but it sounds like you've done right by the NCR. Folks around here call me the chief, but handling's just fine. The Rangers run themselves pretty well, but I try to lend a hand. Mostly administrative work, helping coordinate intel on the radio. That and keeping an eye on the fire. It's a simple system when it works. Patrol Rangers radio intel to Comm Rangers send the intel up the station chain until it Then I or one of the other Rangers on duty organize the data, evaluate it, and send in from Comm Rangers might have an incomplete picture of the situation. There's a lot going on out there. Intel needs to be coordinated through Gulf so we can verify. Troopers have enough to deal with. We don't want them questioning their intel. I don't know Technical Sergeant Reyes, but coordinating intel can be messy. Heck, I get confused, and I've been doing this for a long time now. What he or she sees as a problem. That's not to say Reyes is wrong for being concerned, but it's easy for the sand to get. Well, the logical thing to do is to check with the patrol rangers and comm. Different people see different things, and sometimes the meaning gets twisted, lost in static from person to person. Shoot. The best of the best, and worst of the worst. He came out of NCR, one of the followers. Like a lot of the followers, he went out in the wilderness with a partner to try to help those. Not much different from how the Rangers used to be. Out to the Grand Canyon, he met a missionary from Utah, a man by the name of Joshua Graham. Graham helped translate for the followers and the tribe. All three of them got nabbed by the Blackfoots down there, back when they were still at war with every other. Somewhere along the way, he realized he needed to educate the black, showed them how to use guns, how to make explosives. Once he taught the black, and he no longer needed the followers, NCR, or anyone else. He decided he could remake the tribes. He became Caesar, and Joshua Graham became his legate, his right hand. And that's where... Yes and no. The Blackfoots don't exist anymore. Just like any other tribe, Caesar takes the tribal out of the tribe. Scrapes and burns off tattoos, breaks up families. The only tribe in the Legion is the Legion. Losing the dam was the worst defeat the Legion ever suffered. Graham had been with Caesar since the beginning, but he had to set an example. The Praetorians covered Graham in pitch, lit him on fire, and down into the Grand Canyon he went. It's not that clear-cut. You have to understand, Graham was the toughest son of a gun anyone around these parts had. Before Hoover, we had 5 kill reports on Graham from Rangers and 1st Recon sharpshooters who tried to take him out. Some folks think he's still alive. Call him the Burned Man. Mojave outposts sent word through the stations. The Rangers, some of the patrol Rangers have reported. Wish they got here a bit earlier, but that's it. The Baja Rangers can do more advanced. Ranger combat helmets are old pre-war gear. They have the best equipment the NCR can get its hands on. Power. Tech strip out the joint servos so you don't need special. It feels like you're carrying a Brahmin on your back, but it can take a heck. I could tell you a lot if you had the time, but at my age, I'm not sure which of us would get to. Well, there's what we're supposed to be doing, and there's a big gap between those two things. But suppose it depends on what you think's good. Most folks want to hear about Hoover Dam and Boulder City, but if you want some tall tales about hunting down slavers or busting up, it's kind of a long one, but all right. About 25 years ago, a group of NCR settlers pushed west. I guess it doesn't seem so far now if you look at a map, but back then, they built this little shanty town around a well in the middle of nowhere. Word got back to one of our stations that raiders had been attacking the place. I went out with 6 Rangers. We must have been on the trail for a week before we got to Rattletail. We lost one woman to night stalkers and another almost died. When we reached the place, it's 6 shacks. There's over 24 bodies lying in the dunes way outside of town and 5 men with 308 rifles. And these bodies, these people out in the sand, they aren't raiders. They're just people who were trying to get to the only well in 50 miles. I didn't have to talk to the men to see that they had planted an NCR flag over the well, and they would not budge until every last one of them was laid out. So I walked up and told them there was a group of raiders coming, 100 strong. I made up some cockamamie name for them and everything. The men looked at each other, looked at us, and asked me what we were. I told them we would take them back into NCR territory because we'd already lost 10 Rangers on the way out. 10. Well, that was enough for them. They packed up what they could and we took them back north. Last I heard, they settled somewhere in Anza Borrego. Raised big horners. Had some tough times, but it worked out okay for them. In big battles, Caesar deploys his legionaries in waves. Recruits up front, prime soldiers behind the recruits, old guard bringing up the rear. Opponents wear themselves out dealing with the first two waves, if they survive that long. Caesar can adapt, though, and when required, he can run any mix of legionaries as skirmishers. Joshua Graham, Caesar's old legate. He was... When the Legion attacked Hoover Dam, General Oliver ordered his troopers back to the middle ground just after. Graham pushed all of the legionaries onto the dam, filling the east side with recruits up front and... But once they were in, they were stuck there. Oliver's troopers were entrenched and wouldn't give a foot. That's when we ordered the Rangers and the 1st Recon sharpshooters to start. That only lasted about a minute before Graham ordered the back ranks to push through to the front and rush the rear. Caused total chaos among the younger legionaries. Oliver's troopers fell back to the side walkways and stayed out of the veterans. By the time the veterans got to the ridge, we were already... They followed us down there, but we were out. We'd packed the old city with C4 and dynamite. Crude, but it did the job. Those who didn't, the ones left on the dam, didn't know what to do. The troopers routed. He went south, back to the Grand Canyon, back to Caesar.